All right, I hope everyone enjoyed their dinner. It is now time to recognize certain members and employees of Putnam County EMS. Our first category is the Bridge Award. The Bridge Award honors the dedicated members of Operation Life who transitioned into Putnam County EMS in 2020 and continue to serve the agency today. This award recognizes the invaluable contributions and unwavering commitment which were instrumental in ensuring a seamless and successful transition. Excuse me. The dinner's not going down as well as it should have. Without their hard work and dedication, the achievements and progress made during this critical period would not have been possible. I'm going to ask that if your name is called, please approach the front when it is called and wait for a group photo after all the names are read. The recipients of the Bridge Award are Paramedic Leon Bell, Paramedic Candy Collins, Paramedic Katie Cummins, Lieutenant Samuel Diener, Lieutenant Kyle Flanagan, who's not here, but we have a surprise, EMT Ashley Green, Paramedic Seth Green, Lieutenant Kylie Harrington, EMT Martha Miller, Administrative Assistant and previous EMT for Operation Life and PCEMS, Mackenzie Prime, another Paramedic Mary Ann Sam Steinhilber, Paramedic Stanley Joe Thomas, who's also not here this evening, and EMT Stephanie Thompson. Again, please wait for a group photo. Kevin's going to grab that for us, and then I will give you guys all of your awards. Behind the podium. We got a small space. Yeah, scoot down a little bit.
I'm short. I'm always in the front.
Now we got stuff.
Wow. Got an award. Let me get a cup of milk.
They're sorted. So some of you might wonder why there's a toddler here dressed as a paramedic. One of my shift lieutenants decided that he was not going to come tonight, so I decided to tell on him to his mom. So his baby, Mini Lieutenant Flanagan, is actually here to accept his dad's awards for him tonight. And he is right here, and he is in his little medic costume. That's Daddy's award, buddy. Say yay, say hi, everybody. Let's find the second one on the actual written, so we'll switch. The second category is actually something that I made up this year. We're a new agency, so we got to get new traditions. The second category is something called the Anchor Award. And moving forward, I'll be awarding this to members of Putnam County EMS who show steadfast leadership, unwavering commitment to the agency. This past 4.5 years in my role has been, well, it's been very interesting, to say the least. In the beginning of this role, when people would ask me, so how's it going out there? My reply would never change. It's a pirate ship, it's on fire, and the water's been shut off because there's unmentionables coming from the floor. By the way, that's not an exaggeration. Jared Jernigan is in the room with the banner graphic. He actually wrote a story about these unmentionables coming out of our floor at one point. So it's not an exaggeration. I cannot tell you how many times I had to call Commissioner Woodall and say, it's happening again, only this time it's gone higher. But now while I do love a challenge, this particular challenge owes me some money in co-pays, skin creams, and reimbursement for emotional support concert tickets. Me and this person have joked that pictures of us in 2020 compared to pictures of us in 2024 could be compared to presidential term progression pictures. Only the president's pictures probably look better. Anthony, there's nothing I could say to convey how important you are to this agency. I know you hate being recognized, but you truly deserve this award. So, cheers, even though neither one of us drink. You have successfully anchored the Inferno pirate ship. So here's to many more existential crises laying on the floor, staring at the ceiling, pouring our emotions into a Wendy's Frosty and chicken nuggets while we all stare at the ceiling. There's photo proof of this in this video. Laughing until there's tears, random dance parties, embarrassing open carries. If there's any dispatchers in the room, you can confirm. Anthony Taylor, please come forward to receive your anchor award. Okay, bye. Again, since we are a new agency, we get 5 years of recognition awards. Again, once I call your name, please stay up here for a group picture. People who have been with Operation Life / Putnam County EMS for 5 years, most of them were hired right in 2019 before we came on. The recipients of the 5-year service award are Paramedic Candy Collins, Paramedic Katie Cummins, Lieutenant Minnie Kyle Flanagan, EMT Ashley Green, Paramedic Seth Green, Lieutenant Kylie Harrington, EMT Martha Miles, my apologies on the Miller earlier, and Paramedic Stanley Joe Thomas, who is not with us, and EMT Stephanie Thompson. Everybody round of applause. Did this still in your name? Good, okay. This is little Carlos. Where do you go? Oh, Sawyer's out of the building, I'll hold tight. Got you, it's okay. Anthony's got him. Anthony's got him? Yay! Sawyer, look at the camera. That way, Sawyer. More for Jared. Okay. Our fourth category is the 20 Years of Service Award. This person was instrumental in my early days of Operation Life when I was doing clinical, and then eventually field training after I got hired. This person welcomed me with open arms as a student, a preceptor, a trainee, a coworker, and then very welcomely again as the chief of EMS. This person is always looking for projects to do around station because they like to stay busy and really enjoys making sure that the place looks good. Nothing makes this person happier than when I tell him that there's good building maintenance news on the way. Seriously, he was the happiest I've ever seen him when I told him the old kitchen floor was coming up. At this time, I would like to welcome Lieutenant Sam Diener to the front to receive his recognition. Smile for the camera. Oh, there you go.
Okay. Like what you can do around.
Manis Awards. Our fifth category tonight is the 35 Years of Service Award. This person and I's working relationship began in Indianapolis when we started running National Registry practicals together. Though we shared a common employer with Operation Life, we never did work a shift together until it became Putnam County EMS and we found ourselves both on Medic 3 one night. But we spent plenty of time together working towards a common goal, getting paramedic students through their national registry without sedating them by the end of the day. One day, we also realized that we have a common love of watermelon and tendency to try to fix lights on wobbly chairs in Bainbridge because of our shared inability to reach high places. At this time, I would like to welcome Stan Steinhilber to the front to receive her 35 Years of Service Award. Where do I start with this one? Our next category is the 50 Years of Service Award. The very first day I met this person was on day one of my EMT class at Indiana University. They walked in, they sat in a chair at the front of the room, they kicked their boots up on the desk, had this big puffy chest, getting ready to tell me eons of EMS knowledge. Just lay it out in front of these doe-eyed group of EMT students. And then they fell out of the chair. They completely disappeared behind the desk. I knew immediately I had found my people. This person was instrumental in making sure that I entered the working force of emergency medical services. You see, I didn't want to be in EMS. I was in pre-nursing at IU and had dreams of being a flight nurse. Then I took the CMT class one summer semester at IU, and the rest is obviously history. I asked the person how quickly I could get into the paramedic program. This person replied, "How about next Monday?" Once again, obviously, the rest is history. Over the past 14-ish years, we have agreed, we've disagreed, we've experienced loss together, we faced a COA accreditation process together, and we've even chased the same dreams. When I worked for this person at Academic Services in Indianapolis, and of course I've lost the rest of what this says because, of course, why wouldn't it be in order? So I'll just bring it up this way.
As unaccustomed as I am to speaking, I would like to thank Kelly and the staff of the ambulance service for putting this together. It is something when all of these people gather for one common reason, that all of you worked on an ambulance sometime in the history of Operation Life. The DePauw Fire Company and Putnam County Putnam County EMS, sorry. That really means something to the traditions, but more importantly, you all going forward, please go home, talk to the people who are in charge of services in your home community and tell them how important emergency medical services is. The pandemic that Kelly talked about also decimated the ranks of EMTs and paramedics in the country. Terribly hit is Indiana. Terribly hit is rural India. And you as ambassadors of the history need to contact your representatives and advocate for EMS, better revenue, better pay for EMTs and paramedics. For me, I'm just happy to have been part of this. My legend story involves Raymond Hill. So, once upon a time, a long, long time ago in a country far away, I was a DJ at WGRE, as was Ray. My friends and neighbors at home worked for a funeral home, and they were making big money, $2 an hour working as an EMT and standing in the door at the funeral home. I worked summers building grain bins. And I thought there might be an easier way of making money to support my going to school at DePauw. Ray and I are talking because he's coming in on the next shift. And he goes, well, you know, the DePauw Fire Company is teaching an EMT class. And I'm going, no, because I'm going to have to drive all the way to Terre Haute to take the EMT class. Of course, it's free, and Terre Haute isn't free here. Ray goes, yeah. And so that's how I started my EMS career, in a brief exchange with Raymond J. Hill. I'll never forget. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much for all the award recipients. I will let Lexi introduce our next guest.
Yeah, congratulations. One more round of applause. Good stuff. As I mentioned earlier, we are honored to have with us tonight the EMS Director for the state of Indiana, Craig Kinney. So Craig, if you could please take the stage. He's going to talk a little bit about Putnam County EMS.
Good evening. It is great to be here. It's a personal privilege to be here and have my own connections to Operation Life, to Putnam County EMS, but it's also part of the state responsibilities as well. And I know when I think of Putnam County EMS and we're celebrating 50 years, I think of Putnam County Operation Life. Even if you want to go before that, DePauw Fire Company, I think of the transition to Putnam County EMS. But when you think of EMS as well, we have to remember also local law enforcement that has been involved over the years. The fire department, we have several represented here today. PMH ambulance plays a role in Putnam County EMS history. And the final one, we do have representatives from state office. Stan Frank is our EMS district manager. And then we also have an EMS commission member, Dr. Sarah Brown, that's seated by me at the back as well. And and Sarah has connections to Operation Life, and Michelle, Sarah and I actually went to DePauw together and were good friends there and all worked for Operation Life. I'm curious too, because I know, and I was talking with Steve earlier, that there's a lot of state connections over the years. And I know in the early years in particular, people were involved with the state office, either in capacities such as Leon with doing the training director position. And I'm curious how many people here, if you would stand up, if you've ever been involved with the Indiana EMS Commission or with the state office itself. So thank you. Thank you guys for your service. My personal history at Operation Life began in 1990 quite by accident. I had a friend next to me that was on the ambulance always doing calls. Frankly, my car was broke and I needed to go to Walmart, and he's like, you can just ride along with us. And I'm like, yeah, I don't like blood. And he said, oh, it's not a problem. We won't do anything. And as you'll see from my submission to the guide you have in front of you, next thing I know, I'm racing down the highway and I'm hearing terms like entrapment and blood and patient vomiting. And it was quite a chaotic response. But after that, I was like, I got through it. And they were like, yeah, you did everything we asked you to do. You were a great asset. And so it got in my blood and I ended up sticking with that. And so for me, it's been a privilege to work up, and I say I've done about every capacity. I've been in EMT, advanced EMT, paramedic. I started as just a volunteer, and then I worked my way into being an EMT as a paid EMT, and then I was training officer, I was driver's training coordinator, quality assurance director, I was operations manager, all the positions, and it really helped make me fully fleshed at the state. And when I travel, I find myself using Putnam County as an example. When people say, how do we connect, say, with the local fire service? I'll say, well, let me tell you how we did it in Putnam County. They probably get tired of hearing me say that. One of the things that I was privileged to do, though, was the earlier anniversary banquets that we've had. And I think my first one was the 20th, but definitely by 25th we were involved, and I know Leon was coordinating, and we did the poster boards that we gave out for the founding members. And it was a very nice banquet, and I learned, being a history buff, I loved it, learning the history, learning about the early, dispatching from Margie Meyer's basement, I believe, and also the buildings, as mentioned, across from DePauw University, and then finally getting a gas station on Bloomington Street. And frankly, when I look at how that's changed, and that was rebuilt in 2000, where it merged with the building next door that had been the old Pizza Hut years ago. And so look at that building today, and it's 20 years old, but it's still going strong. And then I know during my tenure, we built the station in Bainbridge that's there now, and we also rebuilt Cloverdale substation. But as I was thinking, and I looked at the ambulance fleet too, and the ambulance fleet transformed. We increased cardiac technology, so many improvements, and Putnam County EMS continues to do that to this day. But when I look back to what I learned from the early days and studying the people that helped found and go on, I said, what is the connection there? And I think it's definitely the spirit and the people. And you look at the relationships that we have. And really, there's almost a tree of Putnam County EMS that branches out, and we can trace it. And we look around, and yes, we see people that are still doing EMS. Sam and Hart that are still doing that. We have people that are teaching today. We have people who have gone on to do nursing. We have people who have gone on to become physicians. We have people, law enforcement. We have different professions out there, but what we all come back to is our roots as an EMS provider. And as noted, our goal is always to provide the quality EMS. And so with that tree, I just wanted to pause. I was heartened to see over there the remembrance table, but I do want to take a minute and ask us to pause to remember those that aren't present, such as Doug Critchlow, but I also, Bill Nugent would be one that comes to my mind, Manas Bias, but I would also remember kind of the big three that for several decades, and of course Wanda Twigg was the most legendary, but Sherry Jo Cox and Mike Schillings were also central figures in that office. And unfortunately, since the last time we met, all three have passed away, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that. So I know we've all lost some people, so I will pause for a minute, and we can think about those that have contributed but aren't able to be here today. Besides this being Putnam County EMS's 50th year celebration, this was also the 50th year celebration of National EMS Week, which was a few weeks ago in May. And National EMS Week was first declared by President Gerald Ford in 1974, so it was 50 years. And the slogan, I think, is particularly applicable to what we are doing tonight, which is honoring our past and forging our future. And we're looking at what has been done, but we also see the promise of what Putnam County EMS is carrying on. The name has changed a little, and yes, there's some. I tease that I occasionally have responded to Anthony, and I've said, well, Operation Life, and he's like, it's not Operation Life, Putnam County EMS. And I'm like, sorry, old habits die hard, but the name changes, but something that I've complimented the organization on is they have really captured the spirit of brotherhood and the strong dedication of providing patient care and restored that to the organization after some rough years, and they are to be commended for that. And so with that, I do have the privilege as being state director. I have a couple of designations that I can give, and one of the highest recognitions that we can give is the State EMS Directors Award. That can be awarded for either a special occurrence or for significant contributions that have been made. And so with the first one, First one, I want to recognize the organization itself, Putnam County EMS, in recognizing 50 years of storied emergency medical services in Putnam County. Originally founded as Putnam County Operation Life in 1974, an offshoot of the DePauw Fire Company, the organization has transitioned into Putnam County EMS, a county agency, since 2020. Both organizations form a continuity thread of quality EMS service to the residents of Putnam County. We salute and honor Putnam County EMS's dedication, excellence, and commitment to EMS. Chief Russ.
I would actually ask anybody that currently works for Putnam County EMS to come up here because this award is your guys', it's not mine. So, come on up.
Come on up if you work.
Do it. I dare you. Somebody who's vertically not gifted. You must have.
You can go on the other side. Won't you go? Obviously, we work in EMS.
He wants me to go swap.
We all pushed in. What?
Tell us what to do, Ken. No, like, so you got a third row.
Kevin's not our friend anymore. Yeah. Oh, let's have a round about it.
Sorry.
I can go up front. Yeah. I think we screwed up here. More people slide in. Here.
That's what I'll do, it's fine.
And so while everyone's being seated, I have one more State Director's Award that I would like to give. And I think it was perfectly illustrated with what just happened. Director Kelly Russ, Chief Kelly Russ, has done an excellent job with Putnam County EMS. And last year I came out and I recognized for a very nice heroic rescue, as well as the leadership of the Deputy Chief, Anthony Taylor. And at the time I kind of thought I had very deserving, but I kind of thought, you know, Kelly had pushed for his to be focused on him. I want him to get the recognition, and she's always looking out for everyone else, and I want to make sure that we recognize her. And so I'm issuing State EMS Director's Award to Kelly Marie Russ, recognition of her exemplary performance as the Chief of Putnam County EMS since 2020. Chief Russ had prior experience with Putnam County Operation Life and successfully stepped in to transition the organization into a county agency of Putnam County EMS during the COVID pandemic. She, along with her staff, have transformed the culture of the ambulance provider organization and is demonstrating to Indiana EMS what quality EMS leadership can accomplish. Under her tenure, the county agency has returned to being a leader in Southwest Indiana and has been most recently recognized as 2023 Indiana Emergency Response Conference ALS Provider of the Year non-fire based. We salute and honor your dedication, excellence, and commitment to EMS. Kelly. Those are my comments, so I will turn it back to them.
Thank you, Director Kinney. So well deserved. That was awesome. I actually am going to invite Kelly back up to the stage as she has a very special announcement, along with she's going to make some additional remarks and acknowledgments.
I promise we're coming to an end. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the distinct honor of announcing a very special surprise that holds a deep significance for both our alumni of Operation Life and the current employees of Putnam County EMS. As of June 7th, 2024, yes, yesterday, the remaining funds that were being held by the Operation Life Board of Directors has been transformed into what I have chosen to name the Operation Life Endowment through the Putnam County Community Foundation. This endowment will provide scholarship opportunities for Putnam County EMS employees that choose to seek out secondary education. This is a monumental step forward, as until now, yesterday, there has been no tuition reimbursement or scholarship opportunities available to Putnam County EMS employees. This endowment represents an exceptional privilege and a testament to our commitment to the growth and development of our team. We are truly grateful to Dean Gamble, the Community Development Director for the Putnam County Community Foundation, who, along with his wife Anita, has graciously joined us this evening. Dean was instrumental in making this dream a reality. Dean, could you please stand up and be recognized? Everyone can stand down and applause. I would also like to extend a heartfelt thank you to the Operation Life Board of Directors for their unwavering support and vision in allowing this to happen. If there are members of the audience who were members of the most recent Board of Directors or at any point on the Board of Directors for Operation Life, please stand. So there might be only 2 in the room right now. And tonight we are delighted to accept donations towards this Operation Life Endowment. Your contribution will ensure that the scholarship fund continues